partner right here, Pepe. He's coming in right now.
Cool.
Ibrahim,
What's going on, y'all?
I found you a PC partner.
Who?
Pepe, he's our newest member.
Oh, what's happening, Pepe?
Hey, just like everybody else, I'm eager to learn.
There you go.
All right, guys, so welcome. This is exciting. We got the two newest member who paid annual. I got a chance to meet with Howard, and we're gonna get Howard on track. And I kind of teamed him up with Cynthia. And then we have Pepe here, who I haven't met yet. And I think we meet tomorrow. Is that correct, Pepe?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. And Pepe is gonna be my French-speaking buddy, which is a jackpot because that's one of my 7 languages. All right. So you're a lucky man. You're a lucky man, man.
My
So
wife tells me that
you
all the time.
wanna quickly introduce yourself, Pepe, a little bit for the community to get to know you?
Um, my name is Mark. My grandkids call me Pepe. It's stuck around for quite a while. It's been like that for the last 15 years, anyways. Um, right now, I do heavy equipment. I do lots of heavy construction, but I do enjoy my employment. But there was a time when I got laid off, and I was really struggling, and I started looking online for something. I found something, but it didn't materialize. And then I found Legacy and jumped in. And I've been struggling, but working hard at it. I get home around 6, and I usually at bed by 9. But I'm up by 4 o'clock in the morning, so my days are long.
Wow. Wow. Jose, this is kind of awesome because um I know the person who can relate to this is Rich because we just had that conversation in a different community. And I was able to relate my story. You see? So when I was 18, I've already experienced graduation from university, high school, all in one, and then graduating from ROTC, the whole 9 yards, going into the service, and all of that, and doing nails at the same time. If I didn't do nails, I wouldn't be Asian, right? So, so when I go into the Navy and they ship me out of sea school, they already gave me some pretty decent ranking because of the ROTC, but I was owned by the Navy, so they can tell me whatever they want to do. I had to do it. Whenever I was off, I would do nails. And that was the story of my life. So when it came to try to learn how to do a business at the time, which was the so-called network marketing, how many of you guys know a company named Amway?
Everybody knows that.
Okay. So that's how I started my network marketing journey, right? And the only thing that I had on my side back then was an hour a day to do my business or my part-time side gig. And they had this thing called standing order tape. So all I could do is listen to cassette tapes. I did not say 8 tracks, okay? I say cassette tapes, okay? So, so that's all I had to learn the business. And let me tell you, I would listen to literally 10, 15 tapes when I could. Because all I had was my hour lunch. When you're on the aircraft carrier, how many of you guys know what an aircraft carrier is?
I didn't. My daughter was
Okay.
on. My daughter was on.
So
board.
there's about 227 restrooms on the aircraft carrier. And every day I would be in a different restroom to listen to my conference call.
Wow.
So they could not literally find me because they would have to check out 237 restaurants to find me.
Okay.
But you know what? That was my life for 4 years. 4 years. Because I was a low ranking person. I was an E5. And before you can get your freedom and everything and start telling people what to do, you got to be either an E6 or E7, right? So after 4 years, I became an E6. And then after 7 years, I became an E7, right? So the higher rank, the more freedom I had to do my business. And how that's how I started. And then when I got my insurance license is when I actually hit 6 figures with Amway. So now I started to have a little bit more profit in my pocket. But don't let it fool you now. When you make 6 figures with Amway, you don't really make 6 figures. After all the convention and expenses and everything, you're lucky to keep in your pocket 50 grand. You're lucky. Okay? Because you gotta order your products, you gotta do all that stuff, you gotta do your pickup product pickups and all that stuff. All that stuff require money. Right?
Auto ship. Auto ship.
They didn't have auto ship back then, girl. You come
No?
get your stuff at the door. You come to the garage and get
Oh yeah. I remember.
it.
Lapse of memory. I'm sorry.
Remember so many people in that Amway stuff in the late 80s and early 90s.
Let me tell you. And then insurance came. And you know what's funny about the insurance? I'm very stubborn. How many of you guys already know that Kim don't like to read?
Yeah.
I do.
And you know what?
Uh-uh.
Till today, I have not read the insurance book. But yet, I've helped over 100 people pass a license. Can you imagine that? I've never read the book, but I've helped over 100 people pass a license.
Wow.
Explain that one to me.
Experience. Experience. Because I'm a hands-on person.
Okay.
How did I learn the ins and out of insurance? Is through field training. You guys know field training, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You don't learn until somebody asks questions, right?
Right.
Yep.
And if they don't ask questions, guess what? I'll ask the questions.
Right.
I'm not supposed to, but if ain't nobody talking, I'm talking. And guess what? When I took the test the 13th time, anybody want to guess how much I scored?
100.
98.
No. I needed 70 to pass, and I scored exactly 70.
Whoa.
And you know what's funny? Number 12, number 11, and number 10, I score 69.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
The hard way.
Can
Okay.
you imagine what kind of mad person that would be?
Yeah. Really.
So, if you don't know anything about that industry, back in the days, each time you take the exam, you had to wait 6 months
Wow.
after the third time. You had to wait 6 months. It's not like today. Today, you fail, you can take the test next week. They change because what happens is the state is desperate for money. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Every state right now is in desperate. They're all in the red. So one of the way they make money is through licensing for professional licensing.
Right.
It's a pretty big revenue right now in every state. See, but long story short, fast forward, my very first check in insurance was 113,000. One check without even getting appointed because of the size organization I had and the number of six-figure earners I had in my organization before I even got licensed. Which means that prior to me getting licensed, all that money was going to my upline.
Mhm.
He enjoyed the ride, but his ride came to a stop. That's the story of my life, you see? But you see, what is the decision behind that? Is that we all have our own story. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when does that story start? Not when we buy your rights to a business. It starts when you truly make a decision. When I say a decision, okay, this is something you should write down, okay? Number one, you need to know your number. So, some of you, that number might be getting my first legacy customer. That number might be making an extra $1,000 a month. That number could be making an extra $10,000 a month. But be truthful to yourself and be reasonable to yourself. What do I mean by that? Okay? You never made 10,000 a month and now you want to make 10,000 a month. Let's learn how to crawl before we run first. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Be realistic to yourself. So, one of the most common goal I teach and practice is the same goal that I started with. And that was to match my full-time income. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was making 6 figures between all my income source, between nail salon, the Navy, right? And I was pretty high ranking. So it was about a 6 figure that I had to make in order to match my income. And I was able to achieve that through the Amway Corporation. So when I made my second 6 figure through the insurance is when I was starting to save. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward, when I left the Navy, I left with 2 7-figure income stream.
Wow.
Never had to look at a job again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a real job for over 20 years. Okay? Been stripped down naked 3 times.
Oh my God.
Not the kind of naked you're thinking, okay?
Cindy's in the background listening to you, Kim, and she started laughing and said,
Keep it
"Strip down
PG,
naked."
please. Keep it PG.
Too much.
So,
So many people
in
don't
other
know
words,
the camera.
I've been pulled the rug from me 3 times because of comp plan change of some type from a network marketing company. Does that make sense? And
Mhm.
then the very third time is when I said enough, and that's when I shift over to digital marketing. But let me tell you something. Number one, you need to know that number. There's no too small and there's no too big, but just be reasonable with yourself. Pick a number that you know is not too easy to acquire, but is reasonable to acquire. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what? Once you know that number, you got to reverse engineering it. So either you have a sufficient knowledge to know what you need to do to reverse engineering it, or you line up with someone who can do it for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. Most of you guys, if not, you will know my story now. But when I started DGC, I didn't have the 900. I had to borrow the 900. So I knew right away is I borrowed this 900. I knew I had to get one customer to pay the person I borrowed the money from.
Right.
And I told myself, I looked at it. She showed me the inside of DGC, my sponsor, and she said, they have this thing called 7-day launch to profit. So what did I do? I say, I think I can get my first customer in 7 days, and I can go ahead and pay my mom back the money. You know what kind of pride I had to eat at the age of 53 to borrow $900 from my 83-year-old mom? Woo!
Oh,
That takes a lot of pride, guys.
it does.
It does.
Humble pie.
That takes a lot of pride to eat, boy. Because I'm not that kind of guy, but I had to be that kind of guy. And then that wasn't enough, but it was enough to build trust with my mom. Then I came back for more because I knew I had to hire 3 coach. Amy, Tim, Daryl. I started with Amy, then Daryl, and then Tim, and now it's Tim and Daryl. Okay? But I had to borrow a 5-figure amount, not 4, a 5-figure amount to be sufficient enough to go full speed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the reason why, even though we started the 90-day run at the time, I came in November, okay? And they had just started the 90-day run and they finished in the middle of January, okay? And it wasn't until December 21st, 3 days before Christmas, that I caught up to the same day as everybody else. So my first 30 days, I was able to make a warm market sale to get my first customer, and her name is Cynthia McKelvey.
Ah, nice.
Wow.
Do you guys know her?
Customer number 1.
There you go.
She's number 1 and she know it. You see, she know it, right?
She's numero uno.
And let me tell you what's funny. Number 13, guess who it is?
Me.
Rich. I mean Jeff.
Jeff. Jeff is number 13. You see?
Nice.
And he was from War Market as well. My first cold sale was number 9, number 10, number 11, and number 12.
Hmm.
They all came in at one time. But how long did I have to prime the pump? About 30 days.
Hmm.
About 30 days consistently. And my message was still all over the place. It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear. But I can tell you the reason I made those sales is because of consistency. It's when I decided to go from 2 videos a day to 3 or 5 videos a day. And that's when it started hitting it. And if you go back on my wall on TikTok, you see how disaster it was on my videos. But today, you can't do that. Because the algorithm back then is different than the algorithm today.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Today, you have to be more strategic and your message has to be crystal clear. If not, you're not going to get results. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No.
So when you come down to PPP, that's where we fulfill that need. Our first offer here is to help you with the clarity of your message. That's our first offer. By passing the 7-second test and the 3-click test on your identity and authority. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yep.
Why is that important? Well, it increases your conversion ratios. When you have a brand and you know what that brand is, and every word that comes out of your mouth is your brand, people will respect you and give you that authority right away. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? That's when you earn the trust, the like, and the know faster. You see, Here's the one thing you got to understand in this industry. There's only two reasons why people don't buy from you. Anybody knows those two reasons?
They don't know you and they don't trust you.
No trust. Trust.
Well, the trust and the know is the same thing to me.
Okay.
Okay? The second reason is uneducated.
Hmm.
Uneducated. That means that they still have unanswered questions. That means that's where the Q&A comes in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you've noticed, a lot of the six-figure earners are starting to do Q&As 1 day a week, whether they do it on a live or whether they do it on a Zoom, right? They do the Q&A to increase the conversion. I call it clear the cloud call. Let's clear the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make the sky clear so that you can move forward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
So this is very important that you understand that, because now we're going back to that decision. Why is it important to know that decision? Okay. I'm going to tell you where I'm stuck the most. I'm stuck because of the value we provide at PPP. And I don't know if it's maybe my message is not clear or somehow, or if there's a value is not there in the community. But I believe we have a heck of a lot more value than a lot of communities.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But we have yet have enough people take advantage of it. How many of you guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sometimes I be thinking about this stuff at 3 a.m. in the morning, My wife is like, go to sleep. I'm like, to me, it's like, why is people not grasping it? You see what I'm saying? Right? Because some of you guys who are in community builder with Michelle, right? How many referrals do you need to refer before you get free for life?
3,
10.
10.
With
Okay.
Michelle, it's 10. 10. And so far, there's only 4 people who've done it.
Oh, wow.
4. Her community has almost 300 people. And they pay $97 a month. Who knows that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
I know that feeling. But you know what? I have 5 people referred. So how much do I pay out of my pocket?
0.
50.
Nothing. It's a profit mode. You only need 3 to be break-even mode. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure the contest she's about to announce is going to be around the 10 again. So now I got to be in a hunt to go find 5 more. Does that make sense? Right? So in our community, it was 5 at one point, and I felt like, man, that's like you guys trying to go to Dubai or go to Maldives or something. It's like almost impossible. And we went and bring it down to 3, right? And I was really, honestly, I was thinking it was going to make the community take off. That's what I was thinking, right? So now it's come down to this. Is my message clear, or where is the hiccup? Does that make sense? I can't say that you guys have had bad experience because you all have your own testimonials. Do you not?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right? And I know all your testimonials are good. I've got tons of them on file. I don't run out of testimonials. Some of you got 10, 15 testimonials. So we got plenty of those. So now it comes down to this. Where is your level of belief? Because why is it on the last workshop, I'm going to mute you, Jeff. You got a little bit of background, okay? But why is it the last workshop, I literally referred 90% of the attendance? 90. And we had 62 people signed up for the VIP. Can you imagine that? So obviously, I know my belief is there, right? But my question is not my belief. My question is, where's everyone else's belief? Does that make sense?
Hmm.
How many of you got something out of Tim?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Here's the $1,000,000 question. You got something out of Tim, but how many of you are actually implementing that one thing you got out of Tim? Good. That's what I'm looking for. Because your belief level will not increase until you implement. It doesn't matter if you implement right or wrong. It's just the fact that you got on the bicycle. You might have fallen a couple times. It's okay. You might learn quicker when you fall, right? But just make sure you get back up. Go ahead, Mom. You got a question?
I don't have a question, but I wanted to say that my belief level is high, and I knew I would get a lot from Tim. And I know that he would be straightforward because on the first time he was here, he told me, all I hear is excuses. So drill sergeant was needed. However, because I came in with a $900 sale with DGC and then went into overdrive with allergies, eyes running, nose running, mouth filling up with mucus, I didn't make any videos. And the whole platform is about content, making videos, and putting yourself out there. So I sat dormant after a $900 sale and just showed up for training. So I was learning, but I wasn't mastering. And that's where I have to shift gears now in starting the community messy and then implementing as I go. So that's not an excuse. I'm just saying that's where I am.
That's okay, because around here we don't buy excuses and we don't sell them. We don't
That's
buy
right.
them and we don't sell them. It's not on the market here. So, but you see, what I'm sharing with you guys, okay, it's important that you understand that number is huge. When I knew I needed to make it $30,000, I knew I had to get X amount of customers, which was 22 to be exact. At the time, there was only a 900 program. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So I knew I had to get 22 customers in order to graduate from this 30 days. And we ended up getting 25 customers. Not only was I able to pay my debt to my mom, but I also paid off my debt to my previous endeavor. And the only person who would understand that is Cynthia. Because we came from the same company. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for DGC and the platform, I would not be able to do that. And that's how I started. You see? And then we reached the 50,000 mark, and then it stalled. When I say stalled, like you drive stick shift and you keep stalling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It stalled for like 3 months. And then the engine got back up and running again. You see? And when it got up and running, our community started to run too. So now the boat had two engines, which is the way I prefer it. I won't go on the water with a single engine boat because I grew up on the water. And I've been stuck in the water with a single engine boat. And I refuse to get stuck again in the water with a single engine boat.
And what are your two engines now?
Legacy builder and community. That should be your two main engines. Does that make sense? Right?
Mhm.
You don't have to have a community to have community engine. Because in our community, there's 73 income streams. So whether you own a community or don't own a community, you should be earning affiliate income. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And some of our affiliates here are very lucrative. Very lucrative. Because most of you know, I never used System.io from the beginning, from day one. We've always used a different platform because of having more flexibility with these other platforms. But the main platform we use today is HBA, right? Which is still the number one platform for us right now here in this community. If someone needs tech support with System.io, I send them to DGC. Or I send them to Brahim. Shh, I didn't say that.
I'm not even up on it anymore.
Whoops, the cat got out of the bag. No. So, guys, the reason for that, the system that we use right now require very little knowledge. The biggest knowledge you need, and I hope you listen carefully, because if you can't do these 6 things, I promise you, this is the wrong community for you. If you can't point, click, copy, paste, drag and drop, we have a problem. Because everything we do in this community is point, click, copy, paste, drag and drop. Hopefully, I don't offend nobody by saying this, but it's almost like a religion here. Almost. Pretty close. Does that make sense? Right?
Mhm.
And then the people who thought that I was kidding about it, the more they hang around me, they're like, man, this guy is dead serious about this point, click, copy, paste, drag and drop. Because everything I put together is that simple. And you know what I love about recordings? You can stop and start. Some of you listen to the recording thinking like the recording is going to run away from you. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're supposed to laugh. That's yo.
No, you can start and stop. You know, in fact, like, how many of you guys are doing the 90 days? The longest video Michelle has done so far is 8 minutes.
Yep.
But you know, when I listen to that 8 minutes, that's probably 2 hours.
Mm.
Why?
Repetition.
When I listen to something, I dissect it. I literally dissect it. But there's a reason why I dissect it. I'm not dissecting it necessarily for me. I'm dissecting it for the community. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You guys have seen my 90 days. It's a little bit different than DGC, but the message is the same. But what do? We make sure that you know you don't have to create content for PPP and then create content for DGC. No, you create the same content. Does that make sense?
Right.
And sometimes it takes the leader to go the extra mile to make the community realize that. Not everybody is willing to do that. In fact, Do you know anyone else that does that?
No, no. Mm-mm.
No. They just copy and paste her video and put it in their community. That's it. It don't take a genius to do that. Right? Going back to that number. Okay? So if you know you need to make your first customer, you need to know how many videos you need to create in order to get that customer. That's number one. You need to know the number of videos. So you have to make a decision. Am I going to do 3 a day? 5 a day? 2 is to learn the skill, but you're not going to get far with 2. Is that pretty accurate, Brahim?
I agree. Yeah, that's accurate.
The magic
That's
doesn't
accurate.
start until you do at least 3. And they have to be very strategic 3, right?
Yeah.
You need to really understand. Now Brahim is exceptional. Brahim doesn't seem to like B-rolls. He likes to talk on everybody on his video. He loves to talk.
Well, you know
The
what? B-rolls got my daggone thing banned, man. I messed it.
Seriously?
Yeah, you know what? But it wasn't. It was because of TikTok changed their guidelines, and I used like that B-roll that I copied from Tim, the one that actually had like the numbers about what you could potentially
Right.
make.
What a beginner
Apparently,
makes, yeah.
yeah, they don't like those anymore. So I put up, and I didn't realize that was the issue. And I put up like 3 of them. The last one, they were like, nope, dude, you're out. I appealed it. That was almost 28,000 followers. Well, actually, it was 28.9 thousand followers on that TikTok.
That's strange
channel.
because I've got at least 20 of those videos on my wall.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's just random. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But they got me, right? So, but I'm gonna tell you, it was a blessing in disguise because I have like every video that I make, you know, TikTok, it automatically saves to your camera roll. So I started that new account on what was it? It was Saturday night, and it's almost up to 200 followers already. I got content for months, and I just know what content to avoid now. So now, you know, I just got a bunch of content in drafts, and I'm just posting 3 videos a day. I still make new videos as well, but I mean, it's almost like I said, it's a blessing in disguise because I can just pump that new channel with content, you know.
So here's how you solve your problem, Rahim. You study the way that Wendy does her videos. You duplicate and master her strategy,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll never have to worry about your TikTok account again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. You
Yeah.
have the skills, you have the ability and the know-how, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of making that decision to really, really dissect her strategy.
Right.
And I believe you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of doing it myself, but
Yeah.
I'm already getting most of my sales from YouTube anyway. You see what
Well,
I'm saying?
tonight, well, you know what, tonight, because one thing I took from Tim's workshop was creating that list, right?
Yeah.
So tonight is long form YouTube video night. And I
So
got
you want to be on the workshop tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm going to take a deep, deep dive on Let's Go for you guys. Okay?
Yep, cool.
We're going to go deep dive on Let's Go. Okay?
Cool.
If you don't know what Let's Go is, for those of you guys who are here, is the app from HBA that allows you to monitor your activities in a very, very simple manner.
Fire.
Personally, I think that they should charge $1,000 a month for that app. Seriously.
Yep.
For what it provides between preparing your mindset, between your daily habits, your calendar. I mean, your morning routine. Guys, some of you guys in here don't even know what a morning routine is. Okay? So important. It's so important because your morning routine has everything to do with your mindset.
Yeah.
It's like you go on to work, either you're bringing your problems with you to work or you leave your problems at the door. That's what a morning routine does. But you're doing it for your own business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So this is really important. So I'm going to take a deep dive on that tomorrow. But today we're going to focus on the number. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to do something different, but forgive me for my PC users. Just forgive me. Okay? All right.
Yeah, forgive me.
Sorry,
Brahim said,
not sorry.
hey, Brahim said we're going to leave that alone.
Yep. I'm leaving that right there.
I thought Brahim was a Mac user.
No.
Whoa, hey, don't let Brahim come get you in North Carolina because
No,
he
Jeff,
drive all the way to Philly.
this is the only Apple product I own, and I bought this in protest.
That's a sad story.
I bought that under protest.
A
Under
protest
protest.
from
That's
Tim?
pretty harsh, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, man.
That's like saying
Yeah.
you bought it from the trap house because no, just kidding.
You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy though? It was I was an Apple guy for the longest time. Like from the iPod to the iPod Touch to the very first iPhone, I was all with it. And then I got to the fourth generation iPhone, and I saw a Samsung Galaxy that cost half the price, being able to do more than my iPhone could do, and that's when I switched, and I never went back.
So you either here at either your first customer, right? There's gonna be three options, okay? You got your customer, or you're here on a dollar amount. So whether you are at 1,000 or 10,000, and in the middle is focusing on your recurring. So those are the three categories of numbers, okay? So we're going to break it down each category, okay? And this is for you to understand PPP. So you can see, Pepe, we do things a little different over here, huh? So you can see here, guys, okay? We're going to put PPP right here, okay? So let's start with the left side with the customer. So you need to decide, so your decision here, okay, let me put this like this so I can, easier for me to write. But you got to decide number of daily video. Okay? That's the first decision you got to make. Okay? The second decision you got to make, right, is the strategy that you want to approach. You don't just make videos for the sake of making videos. You guys understand? Right?
Yes.
So the first thing you got to determine the strategy is clarity of your message. You need to know what you're going to talk about. And if you choose, for instance, tired of bringing a calculator to the grocery store, right? then that's all you talk about for the next 10 videos. You just say it 10 different ways. Don't be all over the place. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like for me, my perfect customer was stay-at-home parents, 40 plus. Tired of survival mode. They show up every day and they still not making no money. And they thought that they had to work harder. But instead, it's not the work ethic, it's a lack of clarity in their message. Does that make sense? And then how do you solve that problem? Well, number one, you got to have a 2-hour workday. Number two, a community that is caring about you, that's willing to support you and mentor you. And number three, are you accountable to yourself? And that's all I drilled on the message of my videos. I just say it 10 different ways every time. And then go back and look at the data. And I didn't really knew what I was doing then, right? But I go look at the data to see what works and what doesn't work. Does that make sense? Hey, Howard, what's my favorite question?
Does that make
Does
sense?
it make sense?
If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
That makes sense.
I love it. I love it. All right. So once you got the clarity of the message, you got your strategy. So now, all you have to do now is monitor and adjust until you hit bullseye. Does that make sense? And then once you got that customer, guess what? It doesn't end there, right, Cynthia?
It does not end. That's the beginning.
Right? Then you raise the bar and you set your next goal. Right? So that's how you go. So on the reoccurring side, okay, that means that it involves subscription, correct?
Right.
So this is subscription. Like PPP has 3 different subscriptions. Well, technically 4, right? But you have the $2, $20. So I'm going to call it 220, right? You have the 80, 800, or you have the 180, 1800. That's the annual discount, okay? Now, understand that when you go 180, right, the 80 goes away because the 80 is part of the 180. Does that make sense?
Okay.
You understand, right? So what you're really paying additional is just a difference of 100. Okay? Anybody can tell here, what do you get for an additional 100? What are the benefits you get?
Unlimited health.
Hand holding.
One-on-one
Okay.
coaching.
Very good. You guys are nice. You call it hand holding. I call it something else, but yeah.
Dating.
Daddy daycare.
So it's all good because I've been called crazy, stupid, underrated, anything you can think of for giving that offer. Because nobody else would give that offer for that price. Does that make sense?
Right.
For me, it's not necessarily about the money, guys, but I already know that if I do it for close to free, you're not going to value it. You have to have a fair amount of skin in the game, but you don't have to be taken down to a highway robbery. Does that make sense? Right? So I thought that a fair pricing was 180, but remember, when we have our first 50 people in there, right now we have about 22 people inside of that group. Okay. When we have our first 50, it goes up to 250 a month. Same thing with the 80. When we have our first 50, it's going to go to 97 a month. But it doesn't matter. What matters is what you understand it takes to be in profit mode, regardless of what the pricing is. Does that make sense? So the reality is this: to be in profit mode in all three of these is just by refer 3. And you're in profit mode. Okay? Now, on the premium, okay, when you refer 5 equal free for life. Is that a good deal?
That's a good deal.
I don't know anybody else that's giving that deal. Okay? But when you're in the premium and you refer 3 equal free for life. Is that fair?
It's more than fair.
Fair. You see? To get all the benefits that you're getting, it's incredible. Okay? And if you don't know where to look up this stuff, just go to the classroom modules, right? And go to step number 4. You may want to write that down, right? Step number 4 breaks down the inner circle premium community. And as far as the VIP, it really explains itself. The main benefit is that you get as many as 1 appointment a day with me if you need to. Daily coaching. Most people call me crazy, stupid, whatever. They can't call me broke. So, does that make sense?
Yes.
Right? So, here's the reality, guys. Understanding this, right? We make it even simpler for you. Under the assumption that you have HBA, which is our equivalency to System IO, what do we give you? We give you a community funnel that you can market. We give you a tool that for me is 100% conversion, which is the HBA triple residual funnel. For Kim is 100% conversion. Everybody that I've sent that to that website, they have signed up. Not only they sign up, they went all in. So when somebody goes all in on HBA, guys, anybody know how much you make?
80%.
You make 80% of everything they buy. So if they buy the financial literacy, which is $400, you make $300. If they buy premium, you make $100 a month, every single month. If they buy the HBA and the Let's Go, you make $28 every single month. So you do the math. 28, 100, and a one-time 300, that's per person. Can you make that with System IO? No.
And you need to be at premium in order to reap those rewards.
No. You get those rewards. You can only sell what you own. Does that make sense?
Okay. Right.
But even though you don't own and somebody bought on your referral, you got a 7-day grace period to figure it out. So you don't lose your commission. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're a really nice company. Because they put me under the gun too. I didn't own I only owned 3 products in the beginning. I didn't own the financial literacy. And then I had 4 people buy the financial literacy. I literally had 7 days to come up with the money so I can get my commission. Does that make sense? Right? So we make it very, very possible for you to make a good lucrative. Guys, HBA brings me over 2,000 a month. Am I in profit
Tim,
mode? Yeah.
send Mark your link for HBA.
We'll show you. We'll show you, Mark. I'll show you where to find it in the community. Okay. I'll show you. And then you'll see here, guys. Okay. The last one is your dollar amount. The dollar amount is not that hard. It's all reverse engineer. By the time you aim for a dollar amount, that means you're probably getting leads. Okay? That means your leads, they're coming in. Okay? Now, does it mean anything if your leads are coming in and they're not converting?
No.
No, it doesn't mean anything. And guess what? Ask Brahim. There's a lot of people in that situation. There's a lot.
Me right now.
So when your leads come in and they're not converting, this is your checklist. Okay? 1 could be the message. 2, your emails. And 3, how you reply. Those are the 3 biggest disconnect when you get leads and you're not converting. Okay? So message is, how clear is your message? Do you really know who your perfect customer is? Are you speaking to that customer? Those are the 3 biggest common mistakes. Emails. Does your email story tell the way your video story tell? Or are you storytelling in Dubai in your video and then you storytelling in China in your emails? That don't work. Last time I checked, someone who speaks Chinese don't understand a person who speak whatever language they speak in Dubai. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right.
And last but not the least is how you reply in your engagement. When you come across, do you come across as a solution? Or do you come across a used car salesman? Tell him I'll call him later. Everybody with me so far?
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody with me so far? Right? This is really important that you understand. And I asked for forgiveness for my chicken scratch. Imagine I was not writing in French. Okay, if I write in French, it'd be worse than this. You would be drinking Tylenol right now. So,
You're
but
right. Chicken scratching.
this is so important that you guys understand this. Okay, when I understood this right here, guys, it made all the difference in the world, because this is what I'm gonna close this down with. You guys have this, screenshot this before I move it.
Done.
Okay. Let me know when everybody's done.
Done.
All right. Move it this way. See, this is why I like the whiteboard. Okay. Here's what you need to understand. And this is the number 1 reason why most people can't sell. when someone asks you this number one question,
How much does
what
it cost?
is legacy? Martha, if I ask you what's legacy, how do you explain it?
An online automated system for digital
lo-
marketing business.
You lost me already.
Well, that was short.
Yep. Cynthia, if I ask you what's legacy, what are you going to tell me?
I'm in trouble. I've never tried to explain it.
All right.
Someone asked me, what is digital marketing?
I want Brahim to tell me what it is.
Well, first you
'Cause I
tell me,
think
Rudy, and then we'll listen for Bahim.
I don't know. I think it's a program for
Mm,
digital
Okay.
marketing
Okay.
that gets you 100% profit.
All right. Go ahead, Rich. Give me your best shot.
The digital marketing training system, so you can learn how to do digital marketing.
You sound like
Yeah.
an engineer. Jeff, you want to give a shot? Let me see my financial service guys coming through.
Oh my God. I won't even give it a shot.
All right. All right.
Hold
All
it.
right.
I'm going to think about this for a minute or a second.
You won't have to. I'll give you the breakdown. You want to give a shot, Rahim?
Yeah, because you know what I do? I say, look, I can tell you everything, but the best thing to do is go to my website and it's going to explain everything. Get back to me if you have questions after that.
That's a problem.
That it's not a problem, but for me, when someone tells me that, that means that I might get the same kind of support when I come in.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Right? It's not that hard to explain. I did a video. I haven't posted yet, but I did a duplication of what one of Christina's video because somebody was saying something on her live, and the reply was, "This has got to be another one of those course." And then she did a 5-minute video explaining why it's not just another one of those course.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is legacy, guys? Legacy, it is not an online course. Anybody know what the definition of an online course is?
Nope.
Modules
Pre-recorded.
and
Pre-recorded.
right.
That means you're learning from a pre-recorded video. Is that what legacy is?
No.
No. So what is the right terminology to use for legacy?
Program.
Number one is not a course. Number two, you're right, it's a program, but not just any kind of program. It is a live interacting mentoring program.
Right. But see, but Kim,
Guys,
this is the only thing when they say it's not pre-recorded because the lessons are pre-recorded.
no, we're
Yes.
not focused on the lessons. We're
Right.
focused on the live interactive mentoring. That is where the number one benefit is.
Okay.
The only thing that we don't disclose is that you have to show up the right way. You know, how many people say, well, I can never get Michelle to answer my questions? How many times y'all heard that?
I
Yep.
heard that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same people that show up on the Zoom 30 minutes late. They show up with camera off. They show up with all kinds of excuses and the wrong attitude.
Right.
You know that in 15 months, I've always got my questions answered. What did I do my first 2 legacy meeting? Is took the time to understand the meeting protocol.
Right.
You got to understand the meeting protocol. If you see someone who raised their hand before we go to breakouts, you know they're new. It's a given. You don't raise your hand before breakouts. Nobody's gonna pay attention to you. You raise your hand when you come out of breakout. So that means you raise your hand when you get out of school. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's when you fight for first place. And you will always get your questions answered. Never had a problem. But it's knowing how to show up. So when someone tell you what is legacy, to me, I did it simple. It's not one of those courses like you think it is. It's a live, interacting, mentoring program. Very simple. And when you can say it 1,000 times and say it with confidence, guess what? People will buy your authority and your confidence. Was that difficult?
Nope.
I don't
No.
know.
That's a good way to explain it though. That's a good way to explain it without having to get too deep and having a big word salad.
When you can say it and say it naturally, guys, you will convert yourselves. I've done it many times on a reply. You know, when you do your 30 minutes reply in comments, right?
Yep.
My reply is very simple. They say, what is legacy? It's a live interacting mentoring program. You want more details? Go here.
Right.
Blank. That's it. You know what works for me the best, which some of you hate me? My emojis. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So I reply once and I say full details. I put the finger point down on the left, point down on the right. Then I reply underneath that with the link. So that means the fingers are pointing to the link. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
And you send
Do
them
you think I
directly?
leave them any room for confusion?
Nope.
Look,
Are you
if
sending
you
them to?
can't, I send them to the community. My link to the community is ppp-learn.com. For some of you, could be Elevate with Cynthia, Elevate with Brahim, Elevate with PPP, Elevate with Kim. I tried to find the shortest one possible. And the only one that I could find is 6 letters. Does that make sense?
Right.
Why? If it's easy to remember, it's got to be short and it's got to be relatable. So you got to be really careful when you buy a domain. You really only have one shot for that domain because once you buy it, nobody else can buy it besides you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Tim,
Yes.
so the live interactive mentoring, is that referring to the live Zooms, the Monday morning at 11 and the free webinar and tech?
No. See, now we're overthinking again.
So I'm going for clarity. I'm going for clarity.
The clarity is this. You're on a need to know basis. I have never had anyone ask me a question after I answered exactly the way I told you to answer it. Not one. And I've sold 79 customers. And you know what's ironic about this? 6 $1,400 customers and the rest of them are all 900. I don't know what is 600, 300, or 100. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's my message. But my message is pretty clear. Okay? If you're in survival mode, you're showing up every day, and you're tired of not making no money, and you're 40 plus and you're a stay-at-home parent, I'm your guy. I didn't say you broke. I said just want to get out of survival mode. What does that mean? There's people that have money, but they're not making the right decisions with their money. Does that make sense?
Right.
They're not totally broke.
So in other words, don't worry about my question. I mean, just don't worry about if anybody were to ask that question. But well, where I'm coming from is I want to say something that's truthful and not hype. So I want to understand for
So,
myself.
so
It
is
doesn't
my
make sense
statement,
to me. Is those
Martha,
Zooms.
Martha, so what you're saying is that my statement is not true?
Oh, that you have sold all that and they didn't ask the question?
Every single one of them.
Oh, I don't doubt that that's true.
No. What was my statement? This is a live mentoring interactive program.
So it's got to be the
That's
Zoom.
my
I
statement.
can understand.
So last time I checked, that's a definition by definition.
Yeah.
I'm not lying.
Live
I'm
interactive
Mentoring program. I
Program.
love that.
mentoring program.
Live interactive mentoring program.
That's right.
Live interactive
Anytime
mentoring
that
program.
your speaker answer a question is defined mentoring.
Yeah, through the Zooms. Okay, got it.
So you're telling the truth to the T.
Hmm.
And you're doing the best good deed you can do as a Christian. And you can
the
feel
fish.
good about it when you go to sleep at night. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Howard, I think he's gonna buy me a shirt with this. The question says, "Does that make sense?" Howard's gonna do some marketing for me. But guess what, guys? This is so important that you cannot let this question give you a hiccup.
Nope.
You know what? If they ask me anything besides this, listen, that's a great question. Let me give you the full details, and whether you send them to the community or to wherever you want them. You want to send them to your blueprint, send them to your blueprint. But guess what? Wherever they go, they're going to get the full details. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you haven't seen the new website, it's fire.
Which new
I'm
website?
just waiting for them to release it so I can go ahead and dish out my money so I can get Matthew to go and redo it for me so that I can pass it on to you guys.
And you're talking about HBA.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying Michelle's changing the funnel?
She's doing the entire funnel different because Alex Ramosi said, take that thing and shred it.
When is did she say when when it's going to be done?
Well, Ramosi's team is doing it right now.
Okay.
That's
Bet.
what we're waiting on.
Bet.
She had it to complete it. But then Ramosi's like, you need to fix this.
Yeah, because that sometimes I think it's too long. Like it's too much information on there.
Well, they made it good. Like when they click on ready to start, it has the anchor, the anchor, right?
Yeah.
And it takes them all the way down to all the 4 programs, all the 5 programs.
Okay, good.
So it skips all that BS and it takes them straight down.
Nice.
But it goes slow enough to let them know that there's a lot of information to review. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So they can always go back and review it, even if after they made a purchase. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So that's the psychology behind that. But they also had to change all the testimonials because a lot of people that's on those testimonials are no longer with DGC.
Okay. Yeah, there are a few people that
So
are.
they're freshening it up with fresh testimonials. Like Christina is there.
Right.
Trails is there, but I don't really know why Trails is there, to be honest with you.
Trills. Okay.
Yeah.
She likes Trills for some reason.
In my opinion, it should be a standard, which should be 6-figure and up. That's my opinion.
That's
Agreed.
me too.
That's
I'm with
my
you on
opinion.
that.
Because you got to earn it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's me. I feel that that's the way the standards should be. So that way we don't make this personality driven. We make this system driven. Does
Right,
that make sense?
Yep.
right.
And so when
That's
the
just the way
DGC and when the DGC updated webpage comes out, are we going to model it with the HBA webpage? Is that the plan?
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I
Okay.
mean.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will dish the money out with Matt and let Matt do it because he probably do it with his eyes closed, right?
Hmm.
And then once he get done the master template, we'll duplicate the template among every one of you guys.
Got it.
No
All
charge.
right. So,
There'll be no charge. Okay?
okay.
I'm the one who's gonna eat the cost on this. Okay?
Hmm.
So that's my gift to you. Look, Martha is all she might fall out of her seat here.
Thank you. It's not even my birthday.
Hey, thank you.
So
Martha, Martha has such
guys,
a nice smile, don't she?
my apologies for going over today, but I felt like it needed to be taught, it needed to be said, right? And I think today was the perfect timing for it, right?
Hmm.
I think so too.
All I'm asking you guys, achieve the first milestone for me.
Mm.
That's all I'm asking you. Achieve the first milestone, and the second milestone will be right around the corner.
Now, what's the first milestone?
Break even.
It's your money back.
Break even.
Get your money back. Anything you invest. Now, we're going to have an amazing workshop coming up on April Fool's Day. Okay. It's going to be Kim Tracy, but it's nothing of what you're used to seeing. We're doing things completely different. She's aware, she's been forewarned, and I'm meeting with her at least 3 times to go over again so that she understands what we're doing. But the one day you don't want to miss is the first day.
Mm.
How many of you right now feel like somehow, for some reason, you don't feel you got your finance the way you would not have it down, like down packed?
Can I raise 2 hands?
I was gonna stand up.
Oh my God.
You're gonna find the most rewarding and educative way. Now, we're not giving the tool away, but we'll sit down with you, myself and Jeff, and we'll run the entire scenario with you and give you the analysis. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
This will account for your first dollar that comes in your house and the last dollar that leaves your house. You know, the number one reason why most people struggle is they do not know one number in their finance. And that number is called discretionary income. That means your leftover money after your bills. Most people don't know what that number is, especially if they're in the red. You know why? Because when you're in the red, you don't really care what that number is.
You don't want to know what that number is.
My husband will kiss the ground you walk on to get me to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But you won't have to do that because now it's going to be automated. Okay? Jeff has been in this industry for quite some time. I was in this industry for 18 years. But my experience versus Jeff's experience, you're talking night and day.
Mm.
Is that accurate, Jeff?
Yep.
So my goal is to get Jeff to have the same experience as I have had for 18 years. Why? Because he's a good guy. And I just click with him. And I really want the best for him. Because I believe he has the work ethic. He's not a lazy guy. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Mhm.
And to help him get that honor to do that and be able to be that professional that he should be, and have that good experience in the best industry that I believe exists. If you look around, financial industry is still the number one industry. The number two industry is real estate.
So true.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Right? But real estate requires more capital. Financial requires discipline. That's the only difference. And we're going to give you that knowledge. We're going to give you that basic education the way that it should be delivered to you. Not because we want your money, but because we want you to make wise decisions financially. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, I want you to think of it this way in a different point of view. On the personal level, you owe it to yourself, correct?
Mhm.
On a business level, for those of you guys who have community, you have to think of your community members. Do you feel that information should be in your community for people to have?
Yes.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So sometimes you have to think again when you say, okay, this might not be for me, but it was never about you. You understand?
Yes. You're reading my mail.
So
You're
That's
reading,
exactly what I said to Kim. Well, financial, I don't need that right now. It's
reading my
let
mail.
me tell you something. If we were to one day open this up to the rest of the bigger community, they would be all over it. You know, there's very, very few people in this industry that know how to do what we're about to deliver to you. Very few. It's less than 1% of the financial industry. And it's a pretty daggone big industry. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Why? Because of one word. That one word in the financial industry is called greed. Because it is the highest ticket, easiest money to make once you get the proper licensing. Is it not, Brahim?
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about inventory.
Nope.
Everything else, you got to have inventory unless it's digital. And you know what that industry right now is learning and it's starting to trend? They're learning digital marketing.
Yes, they are.
Oh, most of my friends who started financial industry today, they're all over social media. All
Yep.
over, but they're not doing it right. They're not doing it right.
Mhm.
They're doing by shooting from the hip.
Yep.
And guess what? You know why I like them? I'll teach them because I know they ain't broke.
Yep.
I know I'll get paid teaching them. It's a big, big market. You have no idea, Jeff. Not only will you get the client base, but you're going to get the digital marketing based client too.
Right.
Because right now that's becoming very, very popular in the financial industry. The two industry right now that are eating the digital marketing up right now is realtors and financial advisors.
Hmm.
They're eating up like there's no more tomorrow. They're hungry. And you know who started it? Anybody know who started it? It's a
Who?
guy named Patrick Pet David.
Hmm.
The owner of, no, I can't think of his name of his company. He had a
No,
very large,
Valuetainment.
what is it?
Is it Valuetainment?
No, no, no. But he started out of nothing and he became like a multi-billion dollar speaker
Mm.
because of his digital marketing and the way he penetrated the Spanish market.
Ah,
And he came from WFG. And then he went and started his own company, right? And that company today is the 7th largest broker
Wow.
from nothing. 7th. WFG is the largest broker worldwide.
yeah. WFG's been
They're
around
bigger.
for a long
Let me
time.
tell you, WFG now is bigger than Prudential. It's bigger than JP Morgan Chase. Okay. It's bigger than Bank of America.
Wow.
It's
Also-
now been known bigger than Merrill Lynch. So now it just recently been named the #1 broker dealer worldwide.
I still have
All
friends in
because,
WFG.
all because of one guy who had a dream.
Mhm.
Came to America with 2 suitcases and the clothes on his back. Went and graduated as a social worker. And today was $100,000 away from $1 billion a year income. You tell me, as an immigrant, pretty impressive.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that gentleman happens to be one of my 5 mentors
Oh, wow.
because I never cut the relationship. Imagine someone who's mentoring you and has no direct benefit. He doesn't make a dime to mentor me in digital marketing because he's not in digital marketing. Even if I did network marketing, he doesn't get a dime to mentor me. It's the relationship that we built over the years, guys. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
So, in closing, because I don't want to take forever, y'all know I can talk until the cows come home, right?
Yeah.
I
You're
want
like
to welcome Howard and I want to welcome Pepe. And I look forward to meet you tomorrow, Pepe. And Howard, we need to get together with Cynthia and get you on the train.
Yep.
We
And
don't
you
want
and
the
I,
train to
here we
leave you,
come.
okay?
Yo.
I got good news for you, Howard. You already have the car. We just got to get you to learn how to use the car.
That's
Okay?
good stuff.
All right, y'all have a good night. Okay?
All right,
All right, thank
y'all.
you.
All
Bye.
right.
later.
Have a
Howard,
good one,
I'll
y'all.
reach out to you for your availability when we can meet with Kim.
You want to
You
send
know
me your
what to do.
calendar link, or you want me to send you my calendar link, or what do you want to do?
Let's go to Kim's
Cynthia,
calendar.
you show him. You show him how to do it. Okay? You show
Yes.
Howard how to do it.
Yes, we'll
You
go.
guys have each other's
Yeah.
number,
Yeah,
I have his
Yeah.
number. Yes.
and you're on the same coast.
we are.
Yep, that helps.
All right.
Trust me.
All right.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Thanks for